Used to keep it cool, used to be a fool, all about the bounce in my step. Watch it on the news, what you gonna do? I could hit refresh and forget. Used to keep it cool. Should I keep it light, stay out of the fight? No one's gonna listen to me. If I write a song, preach about a song, they let me sing on TV. Should I keep it light? Is that right?
All I can say is this car is an absolute beast. Coming from factory, I can't believe how much power this Corvette has made. The most amazing part about this is that this is the world's first C8 ZR1 that is tuned. Knew what they were doing when they pushed this from factory to try to give the customers the best car off the lot. Terry knows what he's doing, and we're able to get some more power out of it. So nonetheless, let's get into this video. This is a good one.
That's a crazy amount of horsepower for a stock car. Over 1,000 wheel and over 800 torque. This thing is a monster on just 93 octane. It does have the fab speed intake and the fab speed exhaust. We don't know if the fab speed intake or exhaust are doing anything, but as the other dynos that I've seen before with the ZR1, seems like we're right on par with it. So I'm pretty happy with the results. Now let's go ahead, get the JB4 on and start some real development.
Let it go, walk into the show, gawking at the tricks of your sleeve. Too good to be truthful, I'm in a room full of entertainers and thieves. Used to let it go.
Chris came out and helped because we weren't sure if we had to remove the inlet or how we could best approach this side since we can't get it from the top. We were able to reach it from the bottom. We're just connecting the extensions now. We're going to push them over to the top, and I'll go ahead and finish the rest of the JB4 install. The fuel pressure connector is here as well. I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to install the extensions right now too. All right, thanks to Chris, we got all the sensors wired in, the shaft speed and the fuel pressure from the back. So we zip tied everything to the side. Now we're going to put the under tray back on, and we're going to go and grab all the data and see what these sensors are, if they're either analog or digital sensors or sense sensors, and then we can input that into the JB4. Right now we're going to bypass the connectors, so we're just going to connect them like this and lock it until I finish getting the rest of the JB4 mapped out and wired in. Mid-engine cars are always tougher, one because of the OBD routing from the front to the back, and of course the sensor locations per car depending if it's a hot V or an opposing V, kind of like this one. This one is definitely been a challenge for the shaft speed sensor and the fuel pressure sensor, but all the other map sensors are actually really easy to reach. So hopefully, if all the sensors that we need are basically these 6 up here, we're pretty much good to go. You know, that's the T-map, the map, and the MAF sensors. Other than that, if we need the shaft speed or if we need the fuel pressure, which we won't know until we get onto the dyno, that will dictate how hard the install is actually going to be for the JB4 system. We've only reached one shaft speed sensor. To reach the other one, I still don't know what the best solution is, so once I get to it, it'll either be from the top or bottom, but we got to get to it to see what the JB4 can do with the data that we pull in.
Fire in the hole.
Well, I just scoped out the shaft speed sensor on this side. We're getting a digital signal, but we're not getting anything that's verified for sure yet. So I think we got to get it on the dyno and spin the turbos up so we can get a little better resolution, because right now I think the turbo is spinning too slow for us to get any proper feedback. So I'm going to go and move over to the fuel pressure, and I'm going to move over to the T-maps and map and MAF, and I'm going to check all those out right now. So we just figured out all the inputs and outputs, and the LT7 is basically one sophisticated engine ECU system. This thing has it all, from sent MAF sensor, sent high pressure fuel, to digital shaft speed, which is usually the normal stuff, analog T-map and map sensors, along with low pressure. People have been asking what the JB4 is. This baby has up to 40 inputs and outputs, which is exactly what we needed for this LT7. The other JB4 system would not have been able to do what this system can do for this specific engine as well. I got everything wired in, so now we're gonna go ahead, start strapping the car down and getting some more baseline data so we can see what we can change with the intercepted sensors that we have on board right now. So we just finished doing the shaft speed data conclusion, and these turbos are spinning very, very fast up top. That gives us a lot of good data on what we know that we can squeeze out, or how we safely feel that we're going to extract power out of this car. Now I'm going to do some stuff with the IAT spoofing, and we're going to get some low pressure and high pressure data after this. Just finished getting data off the MAF sensors. So the MAF sensors here are sent, single edge nibble transmission. They're not your regular analog type sensors with the hot film. This is a digital sensor that is sending air mass and temperature data at 1,000 times per second. This dictates timing advance and AFR. So with that data, we're able to manipulate to get more timing or AFR based on how we want to map this out and see how we're able to get gains in a safely manner. So now that we're finished doing that, I'm going to go ahead and install this sensor for the high pressure fuel and seeing if we can get any gains and fuel trims off raising fuel pressure or not.
Here's JB4 Map 093 shaft speed testing.
We just got done doing another Map 0 run. This time I have the shaft speed sensors for bank 1 and bank 2, and I have high pressure logging right now as well. We connected that. What's interesting is that just on pump gas alone, stock high pressure fuel, this is the brown line, we could see it's already dipping during initial spool up. So it probably needs the higher revs to flow more. And the second interesting thing that I see here, this is the shaft speed, is this purple line going up. Up top, we could see a deviation between bank 1 and bank 2 turbo, which is odd because usually, like my Porsche turbo where I have shaft speed logging as well in the Motec, both banks are usually within couple hundred RPM of each other. So it's interesting to see this here. One bank is doing more than the other. I guess we'll see if that clears up once we turn the JB4 on and start adding power. But regardless, that's really good data. Calculations from the 12-speed compressor wheel tell us that this turbo is spinning pretty fast. I believe right now from factory it's spinning around 120,000 RPM, 125,000 RPM. Usually these smaller turbos, they can go around 150, 160 shaft speed. So we're gonna keep an eye on that as we're turning up the JB4 system and getting our data before tuning out the maps that we want to provide for you all.
This is JB4 Map 0 on 93 octane.
Here we are with JB4 Map 0 with 93 octane. It made 1,001 wheel horsepower, 815 foot-pounds of torque. This is that's American power.
That's definitely impressive because it's 1,000 wheel on pump gas as is from factory. So pretty crazy numbers. Peaking 20 PSI down low at around, yeah, basically 4,000 where it hits full boost. And it tapers down mid-range at around like 17 PSI up top. Not bad. It gets really rich up top too. So that's probably the port injection and direct injection working together. Otherwise, the log looks pretty normal, nothing special. I guess we're gonna keep going and grab some more data. We're gonna go ahead and do another Map 0 run. Maybe we'll attach the shaft speed sensors right now and see how the shaft speed is doing, see how we can calculate that. I believe it's a 12 blade system. So let's go ahead and plug those in and we'll do another run right now and see how that looks. So there's a lot of behind the scenes that you guys did not see. After I got the JB4 installed, I actually had to take it to Terry's house. He was able to get more CAN addresses, so we now have bank 1 and bank 2 trims in AFR. So we have a ton more data than we previously had. So now we got it on the dyno. We're going to do a Map 0 dyno run to get more baseline data before we start turning up the JB4 or having to add any of the other connectors into the JB4 once we start turning it up. But regardless, let's get the car warmed up and let's do some dyno runs.
Here's JB4 Map 1 on 93 octane. Here we are with JB4 Map 1, 1,048 wheel horsepower, 896 foot-pounds of torque.
Almost 50 wheel horsepower gain and over 80 wheel torque just from Map 1 on 93 octane. This car is pretty aggressive from factory, so we're gonna see how much we're able to actually squeeze from it. Like I said, keeping my eye on high pressure and shaft speed, that's the key to tuning, to make sure that we're keeping everything in line for the supercar with all the data feedback that we're getting. So I believe that's where we're gonna leave it at for Map 1. Now, let's add a little bit of E85 to get that up to 95 octane, like E20, E30 blend. And let's do Map 2 and see how much more gains we can get with that.
Here's JB4 Map 2 on E30.
$1,068 wheel horsepower, 943 foot-pounds of torque. That is another 20 wheel horsepower gain.
Map 2 looks great. This is just adding another PSI over Map 1. So this is a total of 3 PSI over ECU boost. Octane is definitely helping along with the boost. In the mid-range, we're seeing gains of over 150 wheel horsepower. So even though it looks like we're not gaining that much peak horsepower, in the mid-range and down low, we're making gobs of power over stock. Let's go ahead. We're gonna finish this up, wrap it up with the E30 blend. Now I'm gonna drain the tank and we're gonna put 100 octane in there because that's what these cars usually love. Especially these supercars with turbos, they're meant for 100 octane race gas. So let's go ahead, put some race gas in there and see how much more we can crank this beast out.
Here's JB4 Map 3 on 100 octane. Oh my God. Here we are on JB4 Map 3 with 100 octane, 1,107 wheel horsepower, 980 foot-pounds of torque. That is absolutely insane.
Definitely insane. Just, even though we're only making 100 horsepower peak, we're making over 200 horsepower mid-range all throughout until up top, where we start tapering boost just to make sure we keep shaft speed dialed in for safety and longevity on these cars. So let me just pull it up real quick. I'm going to show you guys the difference between stock and map 3, 6,000 RPM. We're making over 220 wheel horsepower from stock. Even though peak is only saying 100 wheel, we're making this gobs of power all throughout the power band. As you can see, it's all about area under the curve, not just peak power. Regardless, the power band looks great. This car is going to be a handful with 980 wheel torque. Terry and I are pretty satisfied with the results. We're going to end it here. We got different maps for everyone out there: 93 octane, 95 octane, E30 mix pretty much, and 100 octane. For anybody out there with 91, we suggest using the map 1 only, because these cars are very, very aggressive from factory, but you're still going to see some gains. Kept it pretty conservative on that map as well. So you guys have been asking, how are we able to get 93 octane out here in California? Well, this is my buddy's car, Honest. From New Jersey, he let us ship this car out so we can test it and finish development on the JB4 Pro system. It is not new to him. He is very familiar with the JB4, as he's been a loyal customer with us for 10 plus years. He's had it on other cars. He has it on a few of them right now. So this is just another one added to his collection. Regardless, I want to say thanks again, Honest, for letting us do this. And I can't wait till you get the car back so you can get into the 8s and break some records. I think that wraps it up for this car, the ZR1 project. We're very pleased to see what GM has done with their twin turbo Corvette. We're getting one. We're going to do some more development on that as well.